let's jump to Monday night, and we got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Chargers. And this is one where there is a discrepancy in the luck rankings. You have the Chargers 18th, so they're middle of the pack, but the Broncos are the third most unlucky team. So about a 12 spot difference, which, that tends to work out. We saw the Raiders as an unlucky team cover and kind of really had a positive game script for a lot longer in that Chiefs game than you would have thought, which helped Josh Jacobs a ton, which is something we talked about. So this is one where, I guess you could look a little more at like Melvin Gordon and those guys, but we'll talk about that. Who do you like in the captain spot?
I'm going to have to go with Austin Eckler here. He is on fire, scoring 5 touchdowns in the past 2 games. Obviously, his touchdown rate is unsustainable, especially considering he's not getting any goal line work. It's been Josh Kelly and Sony Michel. So that's been frustrating. But, Eckler, he generates his own touchdowns. He's that good. So he carries a massive ceiling. And that's what we want in the captain slot. So that's why I like him here. And the Broncos, they've struggled against opposing running backs recently, too. Back in week 4, Josh Jacobs went ham. All that seems to be an every week thing now, but he rushed 28 times for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, even caught 5 passes for 31 yards. Deion Jackson looked like Marshall Faulk last week against the Broncos. So they've been a bit leaky in the run D and just handling, running backs in the passing game. So I think just given this slate, I think Eckler is the way to go in the captain slot.
Yeah, Eckler is definitely the highest upside guy here. I'll go if you're pivoting off Eckler, I go with Cortland Sutton in this spot. The Broncos are probably going to be in a situation where they'll be behind. It just seems to be what's going on with the Broncos at this point. But the Chargers are playing the 7th most man coverage, and Sutton has been eating up man. 5.8 yards per route run against man, and he leads the Broncos in targets against man coverage. And if they go to more zone, he's been better than Judy against zone coverage as well, with 1.5 yards per route to Judy's 1.2. So I think Sutton, either way, how the Chargers decide to play this, I think Sutton will be Russell Wilson's top target, as he has been. And that's important on this slate, because the other guy you'd probably consider is Mike Williams, but he's going to have to deal with Patrick Surtain II. And that's just a really tough matchup. And so, we don't know at this point what's going on with Keenan Allen. He'd obviously be an option as well, but will he be eased in? We don't know. But Williams will have a tough matchup. And then the Chargers are actually number 1 in DVOA against wide receiver 2. So Judy also kind of has a tough matchup, at least on paper. So Sutton kind of stands out as that, if there's going to be a 100-yard receiver in this game outside of Eckler. It could be I think Sutton's the best bet, and just the best bet on the Broncos. Who do you got for dart throws?
So on the Broncos side, I'm going with Greg Dulcich if he makes his debut here, which it looks like he should. He missed the first 5 games with a hammy injury, but he's their 3rd round pick out of UCLA. Should be a solid pass catching tight end at the NFL level. He gives me sort of TJ Hawkinson vibes. I think he could be that good, maybe not that good, but similar. And it looked like he had a shot to start over Albert O, at least early in the season. But then he picked up that hammy injury. So I think they want to give him a shot. It could happen as soon as this week. If they do hold him out again, I think I'm gonna have to go with our boy Eric Saubert, though, who will be the lead tight end again this week. Ran around on 53% of dropbacks, saw 7 targets. So if Dulcich is out, I would go Saubert here. I don't know who they're gonna make inactive. Maybe you can ponder that a bit later on, but it's gonna be interesting to see how they handle that situation going forward. And then on the Chargers side, I got to go with their backup tight end, Donald Parham. He made his season debut last week. Again, he was out for the first few games with the hamstring injury, was very quiet last week with 0 catches on 1 target, had a minuscule 13% routes to run rate. But again, he was getting eased back in. And at the end of the day, he's one of Justin Herbert's favorite red zone targets. So all I'm asking for here is just a 1-yard touchdown. Like, that's all I'm asking for here. And Parham's the kind of guy that can certainly do that. And on a slate like this, that would absolutely be enough to take down the GPPs.
Yeah. He you would think they'll start working him in more because he got eased in. McKitty actually ran about 34% of the time to 13% for Parham. So you'd expect that to kind of, even out, right? Like with Parham eventually taking over that number 2. Although I guess that that could be the issue with Dulcich too, though. Like, do they ease him in? Do you think in this matchup?
Yeah, I think that they would definitely ease him in. But back to my previous question, would Albert O be the healthy scratch? What's going on there?
Oh yeah, it might. Yeah, I mean he's the most one dimensional, right? And and Dulcich would kind of replace that receiving production. I mean, but that's the thing. It's like at the same time, it's like the Broncos. Can the Broncos really afford to be benching receivers? Like, it doesn't make. I don't know. Like it's weird. It's just a weird offense. Like Hackett for dart throws. I'm going with Joshua Kelly here. Season high 12 touches last week, 38% snap rate season high. And Sony Michel only had 2 snaps. So this could be another situation where we are seeing kind of like that third back getting phased out of the offense. And, Kelly acquitted himself pretty well, got in the end zone last week. And you mentioned it, these Broncos team has been getting kind of run over a little bit at times. They're more of a run funnel defense. They're middle of the pack in rush DVOA, but top 5 in pass DVOA. So Josh Kelly averaged 4.9 yards a carry last week. For the season, he's at 4.5, and caught 2 passes for 33 as well last week. So he's saw a pretty good kind of overall usage, and he's got no risk of being inactive because he plays like over 50% of the special team snaps every week. So really like Kelly in this spot. And we like Eckler in the captain spot, obviously, but like Kelly could be a vulture. Like if Kelly scores in the captain, if Kelly scores and Eckler doesn't, you might even need Kelly in the captain spot if that. I mean,
we're not that crazy, but he has good leverage. Against Eckler for sure.
Right. And then for the Broncos, I'm gonna go with KJ Hamler. Finally started to see starter snaps again for after, like, he only ran a route 10% of the time in week 4 and 25% of the time in week 3, but 71% routes run on Thursday, and now he's gonna have a 11-day break to get healthy again. And they'll probably give him some squeaky wheel treatment because he was the guy that was supposed to get the game-winning touchdown from Russell Wilson and then slammed his helmet down when Wilson didn't even look his way. So like Wilson's going to probably feel a little pressure to get Hamler involved early and hopefully often in this game. But he has a good matchup as well because the Chargers, they rank 22nd in deep pass DVOA, and they're also 29th in DVOA on passes to the offensive right, where Hamler ran a majority of his routes in the last game. So, just kind of from a matchup perspective, this is also a good spot for Hamler, and it's probably a tougher spot for Judy than for Hamler. So really like Hamler in this spot, and his price is going to start going up. If he starts getting more routes, and he should have had a touchdown last week, so he should have had like 7 more fantasy points than he actually had. So his price might never be lower.